Hi friends, it's Rabbi Briskin with a thought for Shabbat. Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, the former chief rabbi of Great Britain, writes about two often interchanged but truly different emotional responses to situations. He writes about guilt and shame. Now this goes beyond an individual's experience because it is ingrained in some cultures. After all, some are guilt cultures and others are shame cultures. And what is the difference? According to Sacks, in shame cultures, what matters is the judgment of others. You do what other people expect of you, and if you don't, you may be ostracized and may feel greatly ashamed. In guilt cultures, he suggests, it doesn't matter what other people think of you, but rather what your conscience tells you. You know what is right or wrong. Sacks writes, people in shame cultures are other-directed. They care about how they appear in the eyes of others. They care about their image. People in guilt cultures are inner-directed. They care about what they know about themselves in moments of absolute honesty, when they get to the core of who they are, their behaviors, their emotions. Judaism, as you might expect, is a guilt culture. Now, while we do care about what others think of us, it's a natural human response after all, we are more focused on looking inward, examining ourselves and our behaviors. And hopefully our guilt leads to change behaviors and eventually to complete teshuvah, complete repentance. While at its core Judaism is a guilt culture, this week's Torah portion focuses more on shame. We know this because the Metzora, the person afflicted with a scaly skin disease called tzara'at, is assumed to have done something wrong, something shameful that caused bodily contamination. The Metzora must isolate themselves from the community for a period of time and then perform an elaborate ritual before being welcomed back into the community. Now, what is this shameful act that caused tzara'at, the scaly affliction? Our sages connect it to the sin of lashon hara, of evil speech. And why? Because the two most prominent examples of someone contracting tzara'at described in the Torah are a result of evil speech. It first happened when Moses questioned God at the burning bush, and then later when Miriam slandered her brother Moses because of Moses' wife. Our words can bring great shame upon us. Remember that nasty text message about someone you sent to the wrong person by mistake? Or that angry email response that instead of deleting, you sent by mistake? Perhaps you once let your guard down and began sharing a private conversation about someone else with others. If we do this, not only do we feel guilty for what we did, for our own moral failings, we feel ashamed for our actions, for what others think about us, and it takes time to heal and recover. An important lesson about the Metzora is that after a period of isolation and repentance and the ritual to return, they are welcomed back into the community. Hopefully they have been humbled and changed in the process, better able to use their words for blessing rather than curse. So friends, may our moments of guilt and shame be minimal, and our moments of blessing always be bountiful. Shabbat Shalom.